Hey everybody, my name is Michael. I make music as Disparity Bit, and today I want to talk about the Yamaha RM1x. I used to have an RM1x. I sold it when I was broke. I'm broke again, but I traded my Argon 8M for a Yamaha RM1x. It's in really good condition, and I've been relearning it. In fact, the one I traded for came with the manual, so that's super cool. But I've been relearning it, and I wanted to kind of give some of the like quick start guide kind of content on the device. There's a lot of good content making music on the RM1X on YouTube, and there's a few good guide based videos. But what I want to do today is two things. I want to talk about quick start, like how to open this thing up, and then the shortest path to making music with the RM1X. And two, I want to talk about the way I make music with the RM1X, which is using external MIDI sequencers to sketch out the sequences and then recording the MIDI into the Yamaha RM1X. So I'll try to put chapter markers in the video so it'll be easier to navigate. Not sure how long this will end up being, but anyway, yeah, let's get started. Okay, so you've got your Yamaha RM1X. You move to a new style, right? A style in the nomenclature of the RM1X is effectively like a set of patterns that compose one piece of music. It's not really a song because it's not structured, but a style is any one unit of a musical idea, and it can encompass like 16 separate patterns with 16 tracks each. So it's huge, but they call them styles for some reason. I don't know. Don't worry about it. What you want to do first thing off the bat is navigate to a new style. You can use the job menu to empty the styles if you need to. Job, pattern, clear pattern, and then you can select all styles, all sections. Do it. Can't undo, that's okay. And then, so that'll get us to a clear pattern. So by default, track 1 is a drum track. So let's start there. So we go pattern, and then you want to find what sounds you want to use, right? So if you hold the track button and hit number 1, you've got track number 1 selected, which you can tell because it's darkened. The track that's selected is darkened. So we'll start there. So these are not the sounds I want. I know that I have to go 2 octaves down, and this is the kick drum. This is snare, close hat, open hat. So there are 4 modes of recording. When you're on the pattern screen and you hit record, this will tell you which version of the record function you're using. There is replace, which if you've got a pattern in there and you don't like it and you want to start from scratch, you can use replace. There is overdub. If you've got a pattern and you do like it, or if you just want it to let it loop and you can add stuff to that pattern, you want to use overdub. There is step, which I don't ever use. It's effectively like the 303 sequencer where you put in the notes one step at a time, and there's a specific button for resting and tying and stuff like that. And then there's grid. In our case, I'm going to use grid just because it's effective and it'll get me there quickly. So I've got 1 measure on track 1, grid recording. I can hit play. Now, and that's after it's record armed, hit play. So now we're in record mode. We're recording note C0, but I actually want to use B-1. This is my kick drum, and it's like TR style sequencing with the grid recording function. It's TR style. So then I can go up to, I know that, for instance, what is that? D is my snare, so I can put the snare here and here. Sure, why not? And then I know that this is my close hat. That's F sharp. So I can go. I'll put it. I want it to choke out the open hat, which I'm going to put on off beats, and that's, I don't know why it says A flat instead of G sharp, but whatever. Okay, so we've got a drum beat. Now, since by default, track 9 is the first melodic track, we'll go there. So we've got our melodic track selected. By default, it's a resonant bass sound, right? So let's just say we want to do like offbeat, like a house music kind of thing. Okay, we'll just do that. So we're gonna record arm, we're gonna choose our record type, which in this case I'm gonna use overdub. We're gonna hit play. Okay, I was a little early on that last one. We can fix it. The edit menu is where we want to go. Once you've got the main sequencer down, you want to learn the edit menu. So 1, it's on measure 1, beat 1, and then like micro timing kind of things. I want to, this one is early, so I'm gonna fix this real quick. Just put it more in the ballpark of where I want it. And do it. Okay, so now let's say you want to change what your drums sound like. You want to change like the drum set that's being used. We're going to hold track and hit number 1 to go back to track 1. We're going to use the voice menu. We will pull, I'm going to mute the melodic track real quick so we can just hear the drums in isolation. Okay, so that's fine, but maybe it's not what we want. After you've created a pattern, you can do this before you've created a pattern, but I found that for rapidly prototyping songs and music and beats, doing it after I've created the pattern is helpful. So we've created the pattern, we select track 1, or the track that we want to edit, go to the voice menu. The voice menu, in this first slot, it says bank. By default, it's going to say phrase. You can turn the knob to get to drum kit bank. PGM is program. By default, it's analog kit 1. We can choose any of the kits and we can audition them in real time, which I'll demonstrate. Okay, so let's say we like that kit. So let's do the same thing with the melodic track. Let's go to hold track and hit number 9 to get to our melodic track with the bass line. And we're on the voice menu, so we can see here that by default it's on phrase. We can turn this to get to synth, bass, and lead. By default it's on program 1, resonant bass. Let's audition a few. Actually, I need to change my mute so that one will make noise. Okay, for sure. Let's say we like that. Let's pretend we like that. So now, okay, so we've just made some music. That is the crash course. There's obviously a lot more depth to this device, but that is the bare minimum you need to know to get started. So from there, once you've got like 2 tracks started, you can also just go to the next track and say you want to make something there. A quick commentary on the encapsulation of pattern data. The nomenclature that this device uses is very strange. Styles, phrases, sections, patterns. A pattern encapsulates all tracks. You can't change the pattern for track 1 without changing the pattern for track 9, right? So let's say we're playing this music. The patterns are called sections. So when you light up that section LED, we can see that we're editing section 1 currently. If we want to make a new section, we can go over to section 2. And then we're starting from scratch. There's nothing playing there. There's some quirkiness with regards to how voices are contained within the patterns, or how effectively it's all MIDI, and it sends it to the internal tone generator. So you're not ever locked down to any one sound. Okay, that's it for this section. I'm gonna go reset the camera and talk about MIDI sequencers. Okay, so next I want to talk about a couple of challenges that I ran into plugging up a MIDI sequencer. The first time I turned on the Zaquencer, once I plugged it in, it overwhelmed the Yamaha RM1X, and everything was going slowly. I couldn't select anything. It was like the MIDI in and out lights over here were just going bonkers. They were just solid lights. And the reason for that is the clock signal was going out from the Yamaha into the Zaquencer, but then I accidentally had MIDI through on the Zaquencer configured, and so it was sending the clock information back to the Yamaha, and there was like a weird MIDI feedback loop. Okay, so a couple things we want to do to avoid that. On the utility menu, we can see that there are 3 submenus. There's System, MIDI Setup, MIDI Filter. Each of those submenus has multiple pages. Hit Utility, the first one we're going to get is System. If you look here, there is an arrow. That arrow indicates there are more pages on this submenu, which can be navigated to using display left and right. Okay, so we can tab through these pages, and we're still on the System menu. This is System page 1, System page 2, System page 3. The only indication you have that there are more pages is that arrow, either the arrow left or the arrow right. So, and the way you have to get to the MIDI Setup and MIDI Filter submenus is to pass through the System menu. So we hit the utility button once to get to MIDI System menu. We hit it again, and we're at the MIDI Setup menu. So a couple things here. MIDI control in and out. This option can be off, in, out, or in and out. I have had the best results with in and out. Column 4 here is the most important one. Set echo back to off. If you have echo back on through or record M or whatever, it will it might crash your RM1X. It's a bad thing. You want to set the MIDI sync to internal. If we hit the utility button one more time, we'll get to the MIDI filter page, which allows us to determine what information we want to go out the MIDI ports and what information we want to come in the MIDI ports. In my particular case, all I've got set currently, because I was doing like a really conservative setup just to get it working, is just note information coming in. So clock and transport information goes out to the Zaquencer. The Zaquencer sends note and timing information back. And that's all there is to it. Again, on my Zaquencer, I had to make sure that MIDI through was turned off so that it was not resending the messages back. But yeah, with this, it works, and I will reset the camera now and I will demonstrate that. Okay, so as we know, if you've seen my channel before, you know the Zaquencer has 4 tracks of MIDI output. I'm using track 1 for the melodic bass. I'm using track 2 for the pads. I'm using track 3 for drums, and I'm using track 4 for drums. We're not going to be using the programming abilities in the Yamaha RM1X. Instead, we're going to workshop our patterns on the Zaquencer. Then when we're satisfied with it, we'll set up the recording, send transport, and record that MIDI back into the Yamaha. Then once the patterns are recorded into the Yamaha, the Zaquencer can go away and I've got my patterns that I can work with here. All of the tracks are, the mixer section is off, so there's nothing playing. If I hit play, nothing happens. You can see the playhead moving maybe, if there's a little red light that goes on some of the time, but nothing is making any sound. So I navigated to a new style, empty style, no patterns, no edits that I have made. And what we're gonna do is I've got a preset drum pattern on track 4. So let's listen to what that sounds like. I've unmuted this. The MIDI is playing from the Zaquencer. No MIDI is being stored on the RM1X at this time. It's just acting as a sound module, okay? Oh, that's right, that play button won't work. This play button will. Okay, so we like that, right? This is a sequencer we know and love. No matter what it is, I'm thinking about using the Squid with this setup as well. It could be a BeatStep Pro, it could be anything. But you've got a sequencer that you're familiar with, you've set up a pattern that you like, and you're ready to record that pattern into the Yamaha sequencer. So what we want to do, pattern screen, we want to record arm. I am going to choose replace. So we know that the transport information is synced. We've got this unmuted, and it's going to send MIDI to the Yamaha. So I've got it record armed, and we'll hit play and see what happens. Oh, you know, one thing I forgot to do is change the length of measures. Okay, when I was watching some of the footage back, I realized that you couldn't see what I was doing. So I've got a cutaway here on the screen, and we're going to talk real quick, sidebar, about navigating the screen. These 4 items can be navigated by these knobs. If there is a button that looks like this, like a pill-shaped button, this one says select, and this icon is lit up, that means that this button corresponds to that button. You can press, if you need to press, you can press here. If you need to turn, you can turn here, okay? So what I was demonstrating in the main video was changing the length of measures. So it can be difficult to tell where your cursor is right at the beginning. I don't know where it is here, so I'm just going to move it, and I see that it's an underline under here. I'm not sure if you can even see that. So we'll go up, up, and we go over to measure and length. So this is where I changed the length of the pattern. The no -1 and yes +1, or -1s and +1s for the length. Okay. So now let's do the bass line, which is going to be channel 9. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively change the bass sound to the mono bass, and okay, and I'm going to record the last track in, which is another drum track for track 2. Okay, so we've got everything recorded in. All the tracks on the Zaquencer are muted again. Nothing is going to come out of the Zaquencer. So we've got, if we hold the track button, we can see all the tracks that have data in them. 1 and 2 are drums, 9 is the bass, 13 is the pads. So now we can perform our sequence on the Yamaha RM1X, okay? So I'm going to start by muting the bass and muting one of the drum tracks. anyway, that's my demonstration of how to get that done. Hope that helps. If you have any other questions about the RM1X, it's a really fun machine. It's really versatile. My plan is to use it for my next live gig, whenever that may be. Just this past weekend, I did the SQ64 for my live gig, and it went pretty well. But now I'm interested to move on to some new gear and try something else out. So maybe I'll record stuff in from the SQ64 to the RM1X. But yeah, let me know what you think. Hope this helps. Thanks.